I kind of want to check this because the last time I looked, how can I share this? Oh, I can only share one screen. Oh no, I can do it like this. Um, Kenya debt to GDP versus US. All right, we're chat GPT in it, so see, okay. This is like what I don't really understand about this. Sorry, it's a little cut off, but you can see uh they're giving it 67%. He said 80. Again, how the heck are they collecting? This is my thing. How are they collecting data in Kenya? Because a lot of stuff's going on and it ain't recorded. But also, the US has 124% debt to GDP. So out of all the money made, the US owes 124% of what's made every year in debt. Total debt, not debt payments. Now, he did say for an emerging market that's concerning. But this narrative about the debt, I don't know. I feel like it's a thing that people say. But I'm not that, guys, I'm not an economist, so maybe it is bad. I don't know.
So effectively, the country is probably heading into a debt crisis in the next few years. Is this concerning? Yes. But also, I'm not too worried about it. One, because I'm going to try to play it, and I'll explain how a bit later in the video. But overall,
well, that's interesting. I don't want to get too much into politics because if you know, Kenya's been adding more taxes and trying to collect more tax revenue through a multitude of ways. That's how the original protest for the finance bill came along. But at the same time, they keep borrowing and spending. So to me, like they're doing an affordable housing program. Like, are you trying to pay the debt or are you trying to you can't spend and save at the same time. So that is confusing to me. I don't really understand the strategy.
because you can find a lot of value here in Kenya in the center of Nairobi. You can find brand new real estate here for about $1,000 a square meter or a bit less than $100 a square foot, which is quite impressive. And the rental yields are high. We're looking at 10 to 12% gross. Because the reality is, even though Kenya has its challenges, a lot of this debt was used to build infrastructure that increased the capacity of the economy here. So a whole train was built and all of Nairobi now has this like brand new highway, which really changed things for the city. And there's just infrastructure development all over the country. So obviously,
so if you're spending money on things that should help the country generate money, that is a good thing.
a lot of it was wasted. I mean, government is government, but overall the capacity of the economy was raised, and it's an economy that's relatively well diversified for African standards. It's got a big services economy, which is growing fast. Its agricultural side of the economy is also quite developed, with a lot of exports to Europe and to the Middle East. Tourism is thriving as well. And generally speaking, Kenya is the hub of East Africa. So whenever big corporates want to expand in East Africa, first thing they do is open headquarters here in Nairobi, which you can see everywhere. All the big companies you can think of, they're all here in Nairobi. They all have expats here, local employees, regional employees. So really Nairobi, you can feel that it's an economic hub. Also, the demographics are very positive compared to the rest of the world, where the fertility rate has essentially gone down below replacement level in most of the world. North America, South America, Europe, East Asia, Southeast Asia, increasingly South Asia as well. But in Africa here, the population is still booming. So as part of a diversified real estate portfolio, having exposure to such booming demographics.
I do want to talk about that because I think for the continent, but for people that want to come to the continent as well, it's an opportunity of a lifetime because all those, I mean, if you're in Kenya, like, even the law firms or like the places where you expect to see old people, you see very young professionals. Like the whole country is like Gen Z and millennials, right? And even younger. Um, and that's really exciting. Again, on the political side, I hope that they could figure out ways to get people to work and work for a living wage that they can have a good lifestyle and be able to one day um, elevate themselves economically as well, right? You don't want to just be working so you can pay for your food and shelter, but have some extra so you can do something.
Graphics is definitely something I want to have. So Nairobi Metro currently has a population of 5.5 million people, and by 2050 it's expected to almost double to 10.5 million people. So I want exposure to this at these valuations, at these rental yields, even though I understand that there are challenges, but investing in Africa does not come without challenges. You just need to be able to write it out and be patient.
Okay.
Hello, Pratik. How are you?
Hi, Ladislas. How are you? Good?
Good, good. Let's go check out some real estate.
All right, cool.
One of the things I really like about Nairobi is how green it is.
Yes, so Nairobi is the city of many rivers and the city under the sun.
When I hear rivers, I think flooding and real estate.
It's not necessarily the case. Again, you have to choose the right development. There are many rivers, but smaller in size.
So how long have you and your family been in real estate here?
It be flooding. True, what he said. It depends where, but it be flooding in certain. Like you will not be able to drive your car. See, this is why I have a truck 4x4. Okay, and I want to put the snorkel air filter on it because it floods. You see salespeople. How he said that? Not really. Yes, really. But it does. But it's not a lie because he said it depends where. But kinda.
We've been in real estate for 15 years and over, and we are also third generation in Kenya.
So where are most of your clients from?
Most of our clients are local or just within this region.
Do you have people from outside of Africa?
Yes, so increasingly there have been a lot of expats that have been coming into Nairobi, and they have also been investing.
So were these people, these expats they're buying, where are they from?
There's a mix of different types of expats. There is Americans, Europeans, the rest of Africa, from Asia as well.
And what about diaspora Kenyans?
Yes, many diaspora as well. They are looking to send back money.
You know what's ironic about me and my channel is, I'm humbled and honored by you guys. But the Kenyan diaspora, when I'm in Kenya, I've met with so many awesome diasporans from Kenya, and the fact that you guys want to like hear from me is really flattering. But also, I'm like, why do you guys want to hear from me? Like, you're from Kenya, you don't like. Friends, family from, would know more. I try not to overspeak my own knowledge, right? So I'm like, wow, okay. But it's honoring and it is nice that you guys want to meet and hear what I have to say about my point of view. So thanks, guys. But the Kenyan diaspora is, I know I've met with more of you guys than anybody else. So I think that's a trend. But you see, the wandering investor, he's using all statistics, like here's the population, which is good. I'm more like anecdotal, intuitive in how I approach this stuff. And I think it works, especially on the continent and in Kenya, because I don't find the data reliable. But that's my point of view.
And most importantly, invest in Nairobi once they leave the country.
Yeah, because going around, we're checking a bunch of developments together, and a lot of Kenyan Americans are buying here in Nairobi, They're just comparing the returns they get in the US compared to the returns they get here in Nairobi. For them, it's easy to buy here. They understand it. They can have people manage it. They're not worried. They're not scared. So they're investing heavily here back in their country, which is a good sign.
Yes, 100%. They feel confidence as well in investing here, as long as they pick the right investment and, like you said, get somebody good to manage it for them as well.
Where's all the traffic at?
So who built all these new highways?
Chinese. The Chinese, specifically the Chinese have built these highways. There's been an increase in public-private partnership agreements that the government has gotten into, but most of the time we see that it's the Chinese that they're dealing with.
And when you're here in Kenya on these highways, you see all the big brands here. You have Total from France, KPMG headquarters is here. Before that, Mug and Bean, you had a bunch of South African brands. There's KFC, Burger King, etc. So it's usually the first step of an international company's foray into Africa, excluding South Africa, is typically Kenya.
Yes, we see that a lot, and increasingly over the last number of years. I mean, if you see the number of KFCs that have set up, it's quite a huge number, and it looks like it's going to keep on growing as we go along.
That looks like James Kashuru Road, by the way. But the cool thing about Kenya is you got CJ's and Java House that do really well as well, which I like to see, versus KFC's as like, oh wow.
So here you can see
That's James Kashuru.
a lot of real estate developments, billboards. EcoBank is here. It's a big West African bank. Look, just greenery everywhere. It's a really pleasant city. I lived in Africa for 7 years, so 4 years in South Africa, 3 years.
Oh, and actually, he gave a good point. One thing I love about Nairobi, despite you guys complaining about it being too built up, it is so still very green. And I hope that with the new zoning plan that comes out for Nairobi County, that they have some standards to keep the greenness. I know you guys are very skeptical because you just say everything's corrupt and it doesn't matter. I still think it matters, but I could be naive. You guys know better than me, but I really hope that's incorporated in the zoning plan. And I forgot to talk about this in my introduction. I'm on the zoning and planning board in my town that I live in. So I have real life experience about this, and we've been trying, because we used to have a lot of farms here, and now because of Amazon, there's a lot of warehouses and a lot of construction, and every time anyone wants to build anything, everyone pretty much complains and says to not allow anything. The sentiment of people is very similar to Kenya. Like I see the resistance to the development, but it's like, but people are born every day, like we need space. But how can we make beautiful spaces that aren't overly burdensome and costly to build, that makes it even more unaffordable, and build in a strategic and a good way, like maintaining green space, but not, like how can you maintain green space in the midst of heavy development? I think it can be done. Let me do some comments here. Ryan, you so inspired me. Thanks, Marie. I appreciate your comments earlier today. Famous Shy KO. Hi, Ryan. I'm seeing developers building smaller units in size. Do you think it will continue on this trajectory, or what causes the shift? Older apartments are much bigger and spacious. Because the land value is so high that you can charge more per unit and you can get more units. So probably it's more profitable to do so. And then many people that are living in the city are going to be younger people with not families, or travelers or people working in the city. And then and the reason why I'm thinking this is because this is kind of how the US develops, right? Like people are in the cities, and then once you start having family, you get your wealth together, you'll move out of the city to go to the suburbs where there's more space for the cost. Like to live in New York City is incredibly expensive. You're going to have really tiny units at really high prices. So as the city develops, people are going to go further and further away from the city center to get bigger and bigger spaces. I mean, it's just generally how things work with development. So, heard you mention Amazon. What's that like in Kenya compared to the US? So I was worried about not having Amazon in Kenya, but Kenya has something even better, which is basically boda drivers. And now you could do Uber Eats, but everywhere that you order from will send a boda or a motorcycle delivery person to deliver whatever you want. Like literally, it's faster. You'll get it same day. Like even this is kind of a members only thing, but I have I did a deal with a wealth management company. Get in the members only for more details. To sign the contract, they sent somebody to drop the papers off directly. So like anything that you want you can get right away. So don't worry about Amazon. Now the pricing for certain things could be, if you're like, one thing that people will spend more money on, but you don't have to, is like skin and hair care products. If you want US products, they're going to cost more. TVs cost a lot more. So certain things cost more, but other things are very accessible and easy to get. So you won't really miss Amazon, honestly.
In Ghana, I traveled all over the continent, and I can tell you when it comes to quality of life, Nairobi is absolutely up there.
See? Kenya's winning. I hope this music don't get us caught up here. How's he getting these drone shots? I need a drone operator that don't want to charge me $800 for a day. I got actually, there's a drone like right behind this table. Like I have my license and everything, federal aviation license for a drone. So I know how much this stuff costs. Y'all tripping.
We'll see what actually people are interested in apartments, which is more like the amenities and things like that. Later, we'll go and see the individual units, talk a bit about the numbers as well. So, I mean, as you can see, there's quite a few good spaces here. Pool tables, relaxation areas, table tennis, mini co-working kind of area, and all fully kitted out. This is where people like to hang out, do some work. There's a nice bar area kind of thing here.
And this is what people are looking for in rentals these days.
Yes, and developers are also offering the same. So as you can see here, we've got a fully kitted gym. We've then got a heated pool.
The gym's speed limited, guys, when they say fully kitted. Do you think it will be better to purchase larger apartments to cater for the future tenants who would prefer larger apartments, targeting larger families moving to Kenya? This is like my whole spiel about the numbers. This is a mathematical question, but the problem is I don't think the data is reliable to make an educated decision about this. I can only give you off of the top of my head. I think the smaller units have a better ROI than the bigger units. You'll also see, for example, I showed the Pandora availability. The 4 units, there's tons of availability. The 2 units, there's literally only 2 first floor units available. So you'll see that for many developments, though, that the larger units are not purchased nearly as much. What does that turn out to be with the rent versus the return on investment? So what you're getting in rent versus what you're paying for it, I don't know. So I really can't answer that question other than my intuition about it is that the smaller units, that's why I like the studio, because I think the studio makes the most money for what you're spending. If you're only doing investment, don't think about it in like an emotional way, like, oh, families will live here. Well, most families are usually prefer to not live in the city, and that trend is going to continue as the place develops more. The only people that are gonna super mega rich people would consider living in the city if they have a lot of business in the city and have to be in person for a lot of that business, and then they're gonna want to be somewhere very, very high end, exclusive. I think that's what I think. Why the guy sound fresh out of India if he's because the British brought Indians with them to Kenya, and so there's an Indian population in Kenya. But if you notice, the wandering investor in all of his videos doesn't work with any native Kenyan people, which is, I'm not a fan of that.
On this side, it's heated to a nice temperature.
Like, Zorhan Mandami, the guy who won New York, he's Indian from Uganda, and Idi Amin kicked the Indians out of Uganda, and his family came back. They must have had a good business there, because apparently he comes from money. Interesting.
I mean, this is all you could want in a set of apartments.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, but, okay, check this pool out, right? Like, all right, it's next to the gym. Are there chairs? Like, what do? You just go in the pool. What happens when you come out? Now you're getting water all on the ground. Like, some of these
swimming pool's very nice. The water's warm. Like, I really understand why people would want to live here. And there's also a play area for children.
Yes, always. So this is the children's play area and has got quite a few entertaining modules or nodes in it. And this is pretty standard in most new developments in Nairobi.
Look, I mean, this is one of the reasons I like investing here. Booming demographics, people have children, people value these things. Most people that live here, a lot of them have children, especially the 2-bedroom units. A lot of them have nannies. They come here during the day, entertain the kids. And it's effectively a standard product offering for such type of developments in Nairobi, correct?
Yes, it is expected.
You'll see the apartments. They're really nice for ridiculously low price points and all of these amenities. So let's go check it out.
So this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment valued at about 11.5 million Kenyan shillings, which works out roughly to US dollars 88,000.
He didn't say where he was, but 11.5 is kind of steep. Not steep on the 2 beds, I guess. That's probably Kilimani or Kilileshwar or something.
500.
Cool. So 88K gets you a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment with these finishings that are honestly.
Them finishings probably don't come with it, especially that wall panel right there. And sometimes that light don't come with it.
Quite nice. There's really nothing much to say about this.
Notice, is he going to point that out?
Square meters.
So square meters gross is 121 square meters.
Cool. So it's really important for foreign investors to understand when they invest in Kenyan real estate that all the figures are gross. So it includes not only the walls, but also a share of the common area.
Yes.
So you need to, use a bit of a factor here.
Guys, this is why I F the numbers, to be honest. And this is my whole thing. You get these numbers, guys. It don't mean nothing. They add in the common areas. So when people tell you data, I'd be like, whatever. I listen, because if you watch my videos, they're like 68 square meters. Oh, okay. What does that measure it? Measure the net space. It's not 68. But if you don't measure the common areas, what the heck does that mean? Nothing. So then you make a spreadsheet off of price per square meter. Now you're making decisions based off of price per square meter where the numbers don't mean anything. So I know I seem a bit more reckless than some of these guys that want to wear button-up shirts and khakis or whatever and do statistical analysis, but you're doing statistical analysis off of numbers that don't mean anything.
We're going to use, I guess, about 20%.
Sir Charles Murray said, I think it's overpriced. So my 2-bed, I paid $10,500, but I got a discount because I put all the money all up front. Because the project was almost done, but they still gave me a big discount for it because I think it was in the 11.5. Ryan is always an inspirational veteran, as I can't wait to meet him in person to teach me. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know how to take compliments. I'm uncomfortable. Thank you. It's in Kilauea. And the apartment is Leishwa 1. Ah, thank you. Do you know which is the best international health insurance package for a family of 4 that you can use in Kenya? Traverse Culture is a better person to ask for this, to be honest. My point of view is that we have this Western mindset of insurance, and I feel like insurance is a scam that has made healthcare costs insane in the US, because go to a Kenyan doctor and just pay for what you need, and it'll be like a reasonable amount from my understanding. And I've seen people, go real quick and get a prescription, and you can get it right then. You can even get it ordered, comes to you. Healthcare, actually, I would prefer to deal with the Kenyan system and pay cash. I have the VA. When I come to Kenya, I'm probably going to do something with Traverse with that full health assessment and just pay out of pocket, but they do have insurance. Like for your car, you have insurance. I have Liaison Group for my car insurance. I'm pretty sure they do health insurance. I know they do like life insurance and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that company is better than another company though, but it's a Liaison Group. But this mindset that you need insurance or you're screwed is different, because it's not going to be $100,000 to get an X-ray, so totally change your mindset about it. But, insurance is, if it's catastrophic or something or whatever, it's especially when you have family, but paying out of pocket could be better. Thanks for breaking this down. Very helpful. Thank you. I saw you talk to Mary, by the way. She said that you have spoken to her. Ryan, where did you buy the 10.5? I can't tell y'all because I lived there. Sorry. What do they mean common areas? I guess I don't like the hallway. I don't know. I like the elevators. Like it could be anything. This is my point. When you get into the weeds about it, it doesn't mean anything, because some are including this, some are not including that. I just disregard it, to be honest. Like, what are we even talking about here? Sorry, I was on a long tangent.
Percent to remove to get to an estimated net.
Yes.
If we really wanted net, we'd have to measure it, but no one really does this in this market. That's not how the market operates.
Yeah, it's based on gross value.
Yeah. So if you
doesn't
were
mean
going to do
anything.
net, taking about 20% off, you're looking
Like, do those cabinets come with it?
just to compare with other cities in the world.
Yeah.
Not that it's relevant to this market, but just
I'm glad he said that. Not that it's relevant. Okay, I'm back on board because I was getting triggered. That's why I stopped watching, because I'm like, this doesn't mean anything to me.
to get an overall impression of value, you're looking at what?
About 95 square meters.
See, about 9. He pulled that number out his ass.
So in terms of values, it's working out to be just over 900 per square meter.
Irrelevant.
And in terms of square feet, just over 85 per square.
Just over. Is it 85 or 80? Because what are we doing with this information? Are you gonna look at the different projects and put those numbers against each other? Because they're not accurate. So what are we doing?
Square feet.
Sorry guys, I get triggered. I'm triggered.
Square feet in terms of US dollars.
Closing costs here are roughly 6.5%.
Yes.
How much should I expect in terms of rental income from this if I were to buy this?
So from this unit, about 100,000 shillings per month. That equivalates to about just over 750 US dollars per month.
So let's say
I'm sorry. Nerd Novatech, what's going on, man? How are you? Let me hear the number now that we know where this is.
And in terms of square feet, just over 85
I'm
per
triggered.
square feet in terms of US dollars.
closing costs here are roughly 6.5%.
Yeah.
I never did it by percentage. I should look at my contracts and see what my closing costs were.
How much should I expect in terms of rental income from this if I were to buy this?
So from this unit, about 100,000 shillings per month. That
100,000 for a 2-bed in Kila Leshwa. sounds accurate.
It equates to about just over $750 per month.
So let's say, Pratik, I buy this apartment and I hand it over to your family agency to do all the property management and to take care of everything. So the rent is...
There is no property management, really. But I get it. Hey! Nerd Novatech with the super chat on the 369 AED. Is that Australian dollars? That's a lot of money. We're rich. I'm going to Atlantic City later, guys, today. There's a league of municipalities here in New Jersey after the election. All the people that work in and around government come. And it's a whole big party with a bunch of corny nerd people, but it's a good business opportunity, so I go. And everything's free. Square feet makes sense when it's warehouse. For residential, it's hogwash. If the numbers were accurate, it would give you a good comparison because it is confusing when you're looking at different apartments. Like, for example, Emerald Springs and Westlands, which was a very nice development. Their one bedroom was quite small, so it's when, like, if they're telling you the size number, it'll give you a perspective of what you're going to be encountering, which can be helpful, and it can help you make a decision. Versus, because in my mind, I kind of just put all the one bedrooms in a category, but it would be better to calculate per size, but you cannot do it because the information is not accurate. In my opinion, you could do whatever you want. I don't care. Oops, sorry. Appreciate you guys.
It's clear. What is your fee for finding tenants?
So the fee usually in Kenya is about 1 month's rental as commission, but
that's the same as the US, by the way.
This is on average about every 18 months or so.
Okay, so
Yeah?
people don't just stay 1 year and they stay a bit longer.
Yes.
Okay. And the leases are typically 1 year leases, 2 year leases? Because I heard of people signing 3 year leases.
So it's open, again, on the tenant's discretion, but usually more than 1 year.
Got another member comment here. Drink more water. What's going on? Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. My husband and I will definitely have a consultation with you, Ryan, before we buy. I appreciate that.
I like this right here.
Guys, talk to somebody, please. And people aren't trying to make a whole bunch of money off consultation, but you got to have some kind of limit on your time. But anyone that's consulted with me, they could text me. They get full access to me to help out, and then if I'm in country, we meet up usually. AED is UAE Durham. Oh, some money funding our okay.
Is what the lease would be.
Guys, Sunday, I'm gonna have to ban people for that conversation. I don't know if you guys watch Frank Zanu with the Rethink podcast. I think I'm gonna get canceled. I'm gonna say something that I shouldn't say or something because it's a controversial topic. But we're gonna get there. Today we're doing real estate. Sunday is going to be messy. Everybody be on your best behavior, but that's going to be an interesting one.
What about your property management fee for collecting rent and making sure things are fine?
So for a full service, where it's all included, it's around 6.5%.
And what about the HOA or... That's
a reasonable property management fee. But honestly, there's almost no management to be done. But I mean, if you have property all over the world, it makes sense.
Or service charge to take care of the swimming pool, the elevators, just everything.
So for this particular 2-bed unit, it works out to be about 8,000 Kenyan shillings per month.
Okay,
yeah?
So yeah, this is really not much at all. It's like $55, $60 for all these amenities, and it includes the property tax in there, right?
Yes. And on top of that, there are a few incidental costs that you need to take.
He just skipped the property tax question. Well, not skipped it, but he didn't address it.
Care of.
If there's a leak or whatever.
Yes.
So essentially this gets us to a net yield pre-tax of almost 7%.
Yes.
See, and this is I could be wrong here. And honestly, you should do this work and do these numbers because this is how you really should analyze this stuff. I just I I really don't think that this means a lot as much as people think it does. Well, the cash flow is not that bad though. Stamp duty, legal fees, incidental cost 80,000, rent 100,000, 95% occupancy. Fee for this isn't bad. That's not bad. I take it back. This isn't that bad. That looks pretty good. I take it back. I'm
7%.
sorry.
If Pratik, if I task you with finding such investments, is it relatively easy for you to find? Can you find something like that?
I mean, as you've seen in Nairobi, it's almost everywhere. And yes, quite easy for us to get an investment and to match somebody's needs, especially in this city.
Cool. And now we're going to check out the one bedroom, and apparently the yield is even higher on that one.
Yes, high on that one.
Oh, that'll be interesting. So, guys, someone had asked earlier about if it's better for more units, and I suspect that the smaller units have higher yields.
Let's go check it out.
So this is the one bedroom, one bathroom apartment.
No, Nerd Novatech. I think the 100,000 for the 2-bed at this unit at this place probably makes sense, and all those fees were pretty accurate based off of everything. When you rent it unfurnished, so actually I do think that's a good information. Where it could be the Airbnb, that's where it's like I don't know. But also, I don't know, 100,000. Could you get 120 for it? But that's within a reasonable range. Like that, those numbers aren't bad actually.
The same development. And this apartment, gross, in terms of gross square meters, is 76. And that works out to be about 55 in net terms.
And
I think it's fine as long, dude, there's no way this is 75 square meters. This is smaller than Emerald and Emerald 68, unless that bedroom's real big. Nice view.
the price?
Price is 8 million shillings. And in US dollars, that's about 61,000, just over 61,000 US dollars.
So $60,000.
8 seems high for a 1 in Kilauea, but the prices have been going up.
Gets you a pretty nice one bedroom with heated swimming pool, full amenities.
I got the Lavington one last year at 6.
I mean, a nice view. This is
Bigger than this as well.
objectively a nice view. It's never going to get blocked. There's
What?
buildings here that are not going to get destroyed.
Yes.
So this is interesting. So
Whoa.
how much the rent?
Whoa. What? Hold on. Can we see the mouse? Why do you not think this will not get redeveloped right here? I made a members only video about this actually last week. What's stopping? Like, why would that not get? My number one thing about buying in Nairobi right now is look at the lots around it. I can't really tell, but like when they look like this, why would that not get redeveloped? Hey, Nerd Novatech, you're the man. I appreciate you. Yo, when I check in everybody else's live in the community, I see you in there, dog. I always see you in there. I don't know. If I see buildings that are underdeveloped that look kind of like that, they could definitely get
Pay for this?
So for this one bedroom unit, we're looking at about 75,000 shillings per month.
And how easy is it to find tenants? Like how fast is it?
So my property in Lavington rents for 60. Kilauea, can you get more at 75? See, this is where I get funny about the numbers. I don't know if the difference is that big. Maybe I'm underpriced. The other thing is, it's like who's marketing the property? It's not like you have an open market exactly. So one agent might be able to get you 70. If you have a crappy agent, he might only be able to get you 60. That was one of the problems I was having. Because once I got more agents involved, I was able to get somebody in there quite quickly. But the agent I was working with was like, oh, he was like, there a whole bunch of units are completed. You should lower the price. And then I got a different agent, and I got somebody in the first like 2-3 days of having that agent. It matters a lot. It's not like the U.S. where you put it on Zillow and everyone sees it, and it's a more transparent market.
You can find tenants very quickly. I mean,
Yeah, Lavington is more prime than Killaleshwa. Yeah, well, but are apartments in Lavington more prime? Because Lavington has real, like, old money type people over there with the nice houses that they got. But apartments, that's why I bought that property, though. I love that area. It's very green over there. And now they got Kalamata. Oh,
I like this right here.
City boy, city boy.
these are rapidly urbanizing areas of Nairobi,
Yeah.
and people are looking to move into these areas almost every single day.
In the numbers, we put an occupancy rate
this place is pretty small for 78 square meters.
of 95% to
Yeah.
get to real net numbers. So using essentially the same metrics and
I think the occupancy rate is the other big question mark. I think the unfurnished market, you should have it almost always rented. Airbnb is where I have an issue because people are always looking for properties, long-term rental.
slightly lower service charges or HOA, we're getting to net yield here almost 8% pre-tax, which is really interesting for such an affordable place in a booming city. You have to get used to.
See, but it's only 8% if you rent it at 75,000. And this is my issue. Can you get 75 for it? It's within reason, but why am I at 60? You know? So I'm not sure. Lakeshore House is located on Athaya Road. There are a lot of developments on the street. The area is in the border between Killaleshwa and Lavington. Prices are going up.
The quirks of emerging market investing.
Yes.
For whatever reason, I don't know if it's cultural or not, the sink is not in the bathroom. The sink is here. So I don't know, you emerge from the shower and you
I hate that so much. I hate it. You got to wash your hands in front of everybody.
go brush your teeth and put your makeup and whatever here. Is this common?
So you will find it in a couple of developments.
Yeah.
Very interesting, but I mean, it's not stopping tenancy rates.
It's not.
So
yeah. I've seen a
there
few
you go.
developments with this. Even 2-bedroom apartments where one of the bedrooms has their sink almost in the living room.
Yeah.
So look, there's enough choice that you don't have to buy this. But even if you do, it doesn't seem to be an issue for the local market. But yeah, if you're trying to get expats, that probably won't fly. But I mean, there's enough.
Right.
So
Yeah.
who's the target market for like a building like this?
Building like this, I mean, it could be anybody, but mostly locals. They would want to move into this. And, in terms of the rent being affordable as well, that's mostly the market we would target.
Yeah, cool, fantastic. All right, let's go check out the next development.
Sure. So, Ladislas, we just saw a completed development. Now I'm going to take you to an off-plan development, which is under construction.
So tell me about this neighborhood. So it's in the same neighborhood, Kilileshwa. Just tell me about the
There
area.
we go.
So like I said, it's rapidly urbanizing. There are many developments coming up. It's still got green areas and many people want to move to this area. There are a lot of corporates here. A lot of companies have set up. So a really prime neighborhood in Nairobi.
Cool, but it's not prime, it's just kind of prime.
Yes, kind of prime. There is still...
I agree. Westlands is prime.
other neighborhoods that...
Kilileshwa, Kilimani, Lavington, etc. are under that. Should try looking at property in Southern Africa. No, I don't want it.
would go into that prime region.
There's a lot of liquidity in this neighborhood. People are constantly moving here, etc. It's growing fast. I mean, there's a lot of construction. So can you tell us, Pratik, about the tax situation? Because when you look online, the withholding tax on non-resident individuals buying here is pretty high.
So we don't see that as much of a deterrent in terms of investors in this country. You know, on top of that, we're here to help everyone and guide them through the process. Like I said, not much of a deterrent when investing in Kenya.
Yeah, like I've
How does that answer the question? Don't worry about it. What? What's the taxes?
talked to a number of foreign investors here. No one seems to be worried.
Yes, the outlook is good. Things are fine.
Okay. I translate that to say, don't worry about taxes. They won't know. The tax, if you make under like 100,000 or I forget the number, it might be 1 million in rent, is just 10% of the gross rent. You can elect to be taxed with expenses and all that in a more traditional way if you have more, I believe. We covered that with FKC Legal when they came on. Actually, we're going to schedule them to come on again and talk about some things, as a lot of you guys have spoken with them, and now we're going to come up with best practices, top 10 questions, stuff like that. So Leishwa was built by the Pandora developers. He didn't say it on camera. Yeah.
So, Pratik, tell me about the payment plans for these off-plan properties.
So usually your payment plan is over 2.5, maybe 3 years, with probably a percentage down payment required initially.
And this is essentially the way I see it, because I mean, there are properties that are priced in US dollars, other properties that are priced in shillings. I like the ones that are priced in shillings because I'm getting essentially a fixed mortgage in many ways. I'm getting to short the Kenyan shilling. I'm of the view that in the next 2 to 3 years, we'll probably see a devaluation of some sort of the Kenyan shilling. Right now, as of the day that we're
This is probably, I don't know how currencies like affect everything exactly, like on a deeper sense. When I first came to Kenya, I was in Kenya right at this time. And then when I came back, I was around this time, and I was like, stuff costs more. The heck is going on? But if you're a foreign buyer, this is a big deal because especially if you're on a payment plan, your payments are calculated in Kenyan shillings. And so if your exchange rate gets more or worse, it changes what you need to pay each time. I don't understand how it's been stuck at 129/130. It's not moving very organically anymore. I don't understand that. He is saying that he thinks because of Kenya's debt problems, quote unquote, that the dollar will gain against the shilling. But honestly, when Trump came in and wanted to do all the tariffs, you would have thought that the dollar would have gotten stronger then against everybody's currency, but that didn't happen. Look at this line. It didn't do anything. So this exchange rate's been kind of weird because it's not moving in any direction, especially with the elections coming up. Back end will be good conversation, but not living cause. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. I don't know how the election affects the currency. I taken an international business and economics class before, and comprehending the factors that affect currency rates, I know some fundamentals, but then the fundamentals didn't do what I expected the fundamentals to do. So I don't know if I know anything. How would you imagine tariffs help us currency, if anything? This is what I'm saying. Just on basic fundamental, like if you go to school, tariffs, first of all, taking in more taxes generally should strengthen against your debt should strengthen your currency. And tariffs generally, I don't know how to explain it, but I just know that if you charge tariffs, your currency should go up against the other currency that you're trading with. Check me, but I believe that's true. I'm not trying to claim like that I'm super smart in this topic. The shilling has been at 128. Yeah, what? How does it freeze right there? I feel like there should be more fluctuation. Global trust deep. Yeah, so I agree with what you're. Hold on, I'm frozen. Why can't I bring this up? I'm trying to bring your comment up. What happened? Oh, here we go. This is correct. So initially, the tariffs should have done what I was saying, but then he took them off and then put them on. I don't even know if we have the tariffs going on or not because it was so chaotic. And so, like you said, if people don't trust your country, your currency is going to go down regardless of some of the other factors. And I think that's maybe part of it. What currency is he paying? It depends. The pound has become weaker to the shilling. Really interesting. They want to print more money. 180 a few months ago. Now it's like 168. Yeah, so that could affect you. Like if you have a 3-year payment plan, those payments get harder to get if your currency your main currency that you use weakens against the shilling. It's like the yen in Japan. Certain currencies seem to be kept low against the dollar on purpose. But how do they keep it? I don't know. See, guys, I really don't know enough to. How do you make your currency stay at a certain exchange rate since it's an open market, is it not? Gold prices are skyrocketing. Yeah, gold's up. British pound has strengthened against Kenyan shilling year to date. Well, I'm confused. You guys are saying opposite things. I'll look it up in a little bit, but I want to continue on.
Recording this video, it's about 130 to the dollar.
Correct.
But back in February, it went down to 160.
Yes. So, I mean, towards about a year and a half ago, we were at 105 probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of stabilized. But, I mean, the devaluation is a possibility, yes.
Yeah. So I think it will happen. I'm not buying because I think it'll happen. I just see the payment plan over 2 to 3 years fixed in shilling as a nice call option on a potential devaluation. If it happens, then fantastic. My last payments will be a lot cheaper.
Yes, agreed. Lakini council, kanjo watakuwa sawa.
He's speaking Swahili. See, third
I didn't know you spoke Swahili.
Yes,
So-
yes.
Do you speak it fluently?
Yeah, so we can have conversations with anybody.
How did you learn it?
Just growing up, it comes naturally. And to do business, obviously, you've got to make your way as well.
It is kind of weird that like the Indian community doesn't really become part of the Kenyan community, even though they're third generation. Guys, when you go to these construction sites, there's a million people working there. Like I showed it to my buddy that we flip houses together. He knows about construction. He's like, dude, how are there so many people working on this?
So, Larissa, this is a off-plan project
They had a metal gate. I didn't like that.
that we have got current investors in, and we usually send our clients to this.
They have a off kitchen. Where is he at? Got to put your safety beanie on. Guys, it's cold. Ice fell from the sky yesterday. Hey, Ryan, do you pay block service maintenance charges for the apartments that you own? You pay a service charge or HOA fee, we would call it. Member, by the way. Shout out to you. It's so small that I can't even recall what my my service charge at it's 5,000 at the one in Lavington because that's an investment property. But at mine, I think it's either 5 or 6 or maybe 7,000 shillings a month. That pays for all the common areas and stuff.
It is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom worth 8.8 million Kenyan shillings. roughly around 68,000 US dollars. And in terms of gross square meters, it works
8.8 for a 2-bed. Where the heck are they at?
out to be about 86.
So it's like really
is an oak?
small. I'm not too sure, maybe 60 square meters net, something like that, but
Yes.
super efficient.
Yes.
2-bedroom, 2-bathroom in there. And what
'Cause
about
it's
rental
small.
returns?
So rental return is probably about 85,000 shillings.
So in the end, we'd end up with
Okay. So this smaller one that you buy for less rents for more? Where is it? Like, there's not enough information for me to really know, but this is what I'm talking about. You can see the logo on the front of Prosperity when they pull in, but I forget. Oh, yeah. I've got,
like net returns that are fairly similar to the other units.
Fairly similar. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
cool. And the amenities?
So the amenities, they are going to have a swimming pool, gym, social area, just the usual that they're now providing in Kenya. But what's different about this is you can add a smart home component on top of it for about 2,000 US dollars, which will then control the entire house through Alexa and Google.
Cool. So, obviously this would be without the furniture.
Yes.
This is a little odd. I saw this in a few places.
The sliding doors.
I asked one of the developers. He said that half of people ask for these for the separation between the living room and the kitchen, and half ask for it to be removed. So I guess it's very cultural, depending on which ethnic groups or wherever people are from, the type of cooking.
I find that Kenyans typically like to cook away from, like, the open concept is more like a modern Western concept because people like to cook away. The first one was 100,000 for 2-bed. Yeah, that's a little. I don't really get it, but I don't know where he is, right? Because if you go in Westlands, all the numbers are different. But this is not in Westlands, I don't think.
They do all that. They ask.
But you see, like, if you put this in a spreadsheet, the ROI on this is way higher.
For this.
But like it's like I don't know. We'll continue.
Okay. And there's also a 1-bedroom.
Yes, which is here. So Ladislas, this is now the 1-bedroom component. It's about 61 meters squared gross, and it's going for about 7 million shillings, which is equivalent to just over 53,000 US dollars.
This is not bad for $50,000.
Yes, very good investment.
Look, and this is the sort of thing that you need to watch out here in Nairobi. There's a lot of construction. It's pretty easy to get a building permit, and neighbors will not hesitate to build. So you see this here. The view is nice and green.
Yeah, I think the setback is like 3 or 6 meters, so they could build very close to your property.
There's like a house, etc., etc. In my mind, if I buy this, I'm pretty sure that within 5 years there's going to be a big building with also about a 5 meters, so you'll be about like 10 meters away from another building. I think this is fairly
Yes,
likely.
that's a possibility.
Yeah. You just need to be aware of this, that it's likely, or you need to get units that have an unblocked
This is Neptune.
view where you're sure, like the other one, that 1-bedroom, that one was really nice, where you know they're not going to build in front.
So higher floors.
Yeah, higher floors. Cool, fantastic, and similar returns as the other one.
Yes, similar returns. So
that makes
Ladislas,
sense.
now I'll take you to a sort of higher-end development.
Oops.
Egyptian and Turkish developers have constructed this, and you can now see the contrast of difference between where we went before. In terms of the range of developers in Kenya, you've got the Chinese, you've got the Indian heritage, you've got the Somalis who have come in, you've also got Egyptians, Turkish, from Eritrea, Singapore. So there's a whole mix of developers that have now come in and are very interested in the Kenyan market.
The real estate industry here is very, very active, and they each have their own reputation, right? Like I notice when I speak to people, they're like, "Oh, this is Indian. Oh, this is Eritrean. Oh, this is Somali," and it just, if they say that, it implies.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't like the implications based off of the nationality of the developer. I've seen good Chinese. I've seen bad. I've seen. I don't know. I've seen good Kenyan developers. I've seen ones that were kind of mid. I don't really care.
something each time?
Yes, so I mean, you're looking at how the quality of finishing is, and you know how long the apartments will last for, and things like that. But
Based off
yes,
of
there is a sort of
nationality.
implication every time, or every different ethnicity of developer.
And this development we're going to see is in which neighborhood?
We're still in the Kilimani Kileleshwa area, which is like before. Again, rapid urbanization and premium developments as well.
But a bit closer to the center, that one, right?
A bit closer, yes. All right, so Ladislas, this is an apartment. Actually, my family and I personally bought a unit in, a one-bedroom unit. And we chose it because of the reputation of the developer. We are interested in higher-end finishing. And we came to a decision that this was the unit for us.
When is it going to be complete?
End of this year, 3 months, so almost finished. As you can see around us,
would be
works are
now.
still ongoing, but most of the units are actually done. Cool. Let's
check it out.
Let's check it out. So Ladislas, this unit here is worth US dollars 81,000, equivalent to about 10.5 million Kenyan shillings.
So it's priced in
beds.
USD.
Yes, you do get those units in Nairobi that are priced in USD.
Wait. Is this the one on Riara Road?
Monthly rental here, including service charges,
That's
about
ugly.
85,000 shillings, including, yeah, as I said, including service charge. And that yield works out to be just under 7%.
Net yield.
Net,
before income
yes.
tax. Look, it's
Whoa. Wait a second. Now he's saying in Kilimani, 85,000 in rent. 10.5 purchase price. Okay.
probably about 30% more expensive per square meter compared to the Chinese developments. How can you explain this?
So mainly it's just the finishing. I mean, you get good solid doors, you get granite kitchen countertops, you get Bosch appliances, you get a heat pump, you get tiling everywhere, the flooring is good quality.
Yeah.
And I think personally from our point of view, this
You come in and there's cabinets in your face and you're paying more, and then this is ugly. This is what, like, no. No.
This is why we chose this unit to invest in. The gross square meters is 54, which makes it a bit more expensive per square.
It's a one bedroom. Guys, when I'm there, I've looked at stuff and be like, I don't understand how this is priced this way and why anyone's buying it. That's nicer. Why do you even care that much about that? Because, like, it's so small, you could renovate it for almost no money anyway. But people buy everything, like, because Nairobi is very international, so people view things very differently. That's why I'm having such a weird reaction to this, because that's ugly to me, and I would walk out of there instantly when I hear the price for what that is. Like, I wouldn't even go to this project.
Square meter, but you do get all the nice finishings and the top quality, which makes it a valuable investment.
Yeah, so you can definitely tell the difference.
Dog, you could buy the Diplomat right now at 6-something million for a one bedroom similar size in Westlands. But these places will rent easier. They'll rent easier than what? I don't think they'll rent easier than, like, the ones that we probably would think are nicer. Why are you writing in all caps? It's not necessary.
And can you talk about the amenities as well?
So more amenities than usual. You've got a heated swimming pool, you've got a basketball court, steam, sauna, social hall,
Okay.
a walking track as
Sauna.
well, which is a few more amenities than what you would usually get.
I am going to buy one or a few apartments here in Nairobi.
Benjamin, I gotta disagree. It's not a waste of money. Because people, Benjamin, look at the real estate values in New York City and what people are willing to pay to live in a shoebox. Now, you might not want to do it, which I get. I wouldn't do it either in some of these places. But it's not a waste of money, especially for investment or if you like that lifestyle. Dude's excited about those Chinese developers. I don't care what developer, what nationality the developer is. I just look at each project on its own merit. I do look at their track record. I don't care. Because I've been in I walked in one Chinese development and there was like broken tiles already in the show house. I was like, why is this your show house? And interesting fact, guys, I don't post everything that I look at because then I don't know what the laws and rules, and I'm not trying to like blow somebody's business up by giving them a bad review. So like if I think a project sucks, you probably just won't see it. Oh, talking about the guy in the caps. Yeah, I don't know why people do that.
Still not sure exactly which ones. Pratik is taking me around. We're checking a whole bunch of developments. I'm going to make a decision in the next few days. I know some relatives of mine are also going to buy something here. I understand Kenya has its challenges, just as I discussed earlier, but I'm comfortable with these challenges. When I'm paying, these prices for city center real estate with very decent finishings, all these amenities, right next to the heart of the city, in a city that has booming demographics. And
like if you bought this, it's going to be okay in the long term. I just like like I said, investments are mutually exclusive. So you could either do this or that, or you could get two of that versus this or whatever. Why would you put your money in this when there's other better things that you could get? But will you make money from if you bought this? Yeah. But paying more for this makes no sense. Why? How, Sway?
How, Sway?
Get land away from town. Good side with your own design. The money used here will be equivalent to goods. Yeah, well, you're thinking about like buying for yourself. So that's, I get it. It's personal preference, and that's why I'm looking at land as well. But when people say it's a waste of money, like you just don't get it. Like if you work in the city, ain't nobody trying to be in traffic for 6 hours driving. What is a reasonable rent price for 3 bedrooms unfurnished in Kilimani? 120 to 150, I think. Last time he came, he bought Chinese. I think they just wanted to show variety. Yeah, but what I don't like is that he brought that chart up thinking this is getting 75,000. Where is it? 85,000 for a 1 bed. Why would a renter pay 85 for this when they could have a 2 bed for the previous one?
Under 7%.
This is a 1 bed?
Net. I mean, you get
Yeah,
good
it's 54
solid
square
doors.
meters.
You get
Allegedly.
granite kitchen countertops.
That ain't worth a granite kitchen countertop. Not so many people on the line. Yeah, because we're on Wednesday. Actually, this is a ton of people for Wednesday. I expected 10 people to be in here, which makes for a better experience. On Sunday, we're gonna have to police that chat heavy because we talked about some controversial stuff. Not racist, but anything Indian. I say. Oh man, it says 2 bedroom. How? Where's the other one? Let's look at it again. I'm sorry.
Yes, works are still ongoing, but most of the units are actually done. Cool.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out. So Ladislas, this unit.
And you know what? I don't think this is a bad video, but I just get worried that the number reliance on the numbers could be a little misleading. But I'm not getting that much of an impression that it's over reliance on them, so it's not that bad. But that was my impression on his first video that he ever did. But I think his first video, he was out somewhere, Thika Road or something, because I was like, where the heck is this?
US dollars 81,000, equivalent to about 10.5
We're looking for the bedroom.
So it's priced in USD.
There's the bedroom.
Yes, you do
this
get
is the
those units
bathroom.
in Nairobi.
Where
that
the
are
heck
priced
is
in
the other
USD.
one?
The monthly rental
But-
here, including service charge, is about
You're trolling
85,000
me,
shillings.
MH.
Including, as I said, including
Where's the
service
second
charge.
bedroom?
And that yield works out to be just under 7%.
How is this 2 bed? Where is it?
So net yield.
Okay,
Net,
so you could do
yes.
85 for
Look,
2,
it's
but where is it?
Probably about 30% more expensive per square meter
Whoppy.
compared to the Chinese development. How can you explain this?
So mainly it's just the finishing. I mean, you get good solid doors, you get granite kitchen countertops,
Whoppy
you get
heel?
wash appliances, you get a heat pump, you get tiling everywhere, the flooring is good quality. And I think personally from our point of view, this is why we chose this unit to invest in. The gross square meters is 54, which makes it a bit more expensive.
I've never seen a 2-bedroom at 54 square meters. I don't see a 2-bedroom. I don't see a second bedroom. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Do y'all see it?
Per square meter. But you do get all the nice finishings and the
Himalaya Horizon. I've been to that one. I thought it was pretty cool, actually. That's Chinese.
top quality, which makes it a valuable.
MH, you got me.
Yeah,
you
so
got
you
me
can
thinking I'm missing stuff. Because it did say 2-bedroom, but where is it? It's over on the other side. I don't think so. They're usually not built that way.
Definitely tell the difference. And can you talk about the amenities as well?
So more amenities than usual.
Okay. Maybe there was some confusion. I once sorted a house around these areas. What I saw was outrageous. I decided to build my own. Yeah, I'm on your time. I'm looking for some land. Finding land is not easy. How do you find land? Do we want to do another video? Real estate lawyer. Look, the lawyer's not Kenyan either. Well, Kenyan, but let's see what
To purchase an apartment. Hello everyone, Ladislas Maurice from the wanderinginvestor.com. So today I'm in Nairobi in Kenya together with my lawyer Safina, who's helping me with my real estate transactions here in Nairobi. How are you, Safina?
Good, thank you, Ladislas.
Good. So can you explain to us the process? So I come to you and I say I want to buy this apartment.
All right, we covered this before. Is that loud? It feels loud in my ear. Oh, this is the one you're talking about? That he bought them? Nobody wants to live in the village and build. Dang. Some people want to live. Some people do. This is the video I first watched. Let me skip through it real quick.
Ladislas Maurice from the wanderinginvestor.com. So I did a video related to Kenya. I wrote an article on this. You went to the outskirts. We saw apartments that are going for about $250 a square meter. Finishings and the building. There's massive oversupply in terms of 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom apartments, so large apartments. But there is a supply gap in terms of 1-bedroom and studios. Now, this sounds great, but the reality is, as this gap has appeared, now when I go around and I speak to developers, they all have plans for buildings with only studios and 1-bedroom apartments. So there's a supply gap for now, but within a few years it'll get resolved, and you'll see yields.
That is typical of what everyone says to me, is that there's too many, especially in Westlands, too many large units. There's not enough small units.
It's, the growing middle class. It's a new building. There's security in
Where
front,
is this?
parking. The building itself looks good, but, and this is very important, that's something that people need to understand when investing here. A lot.
Benjamin, are you talking about Kiambu County? Because it is nice out there. Actually, there's a lot of nice places, but the problem is it's not practical because the traffic, if you have to go into town, is brutal.
A lot of the buildings have maintenance issues.
Yeah, we like to be around the
So
people.
even though service charges are not particularly cheap, probably about
Bad maintenance.
$150 a month. You can see the pool is starting to look a little yucky. The water's not very transparent.
We're talking about maintenance on Sunday. JC, you make good comments, but you're doing all caps. It's annoying.
It's dirty.
Fix that.
No one actually
Stop
swims
that.
here anymore. So when people bought off plan, the building must have looked great on the flyers. And now
It looks
they
poopy.
end up with a pool that is actually not very usable. I mean, objectively, it's not. I wouldn't jump in here. And you can see just like things just lying around.
I know.
Poor
What's up with that?
maintenance. Down there at the
There's a lack of supervision. Like stuff's just laying around. No one tells them like pick this up.
end, all the tiles just
That's
piling up.
crazy.
Random fridge here. I don't know.
There's a fridge.
What are these things? It's just there's nothing. So this is all wasted space in the building. The gym, which must have looked much better in the pamphlets, just is pretty underwhelming.
What county? I don't know Route 11.4 and 11.5. Kangundo Road. I don't know these areas yet. My next time coming out, I'm looking at more stuff outside the city for sure. In this video, he trashes Nairobi, spoke about the lack of maintenance, poor management. Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure none of these machines, I mean, this machine doesn't look like it works. You really? So this is an example of a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom apartment. 5th floor.
Oh, of this
nice
building?
view, very green.
That don't look terrible.
It's very large, like much larger than most apartments in Europe. Kitchen.
He bought Himalaya Horizon, but his units were
Large
removed due to
pantry
limiting
here.
top flooring build out.
And
Oh, guys, that's a thing that's happening is because of the Raptor Road lawsuit or whatever, and what sparked Nairobi County needing to make update the zoning laws. Some of the developers had to cap their buildings shorter. Interestingly, and I'm speculating, Amethyst, which is coming up in Kilimani from the developer of Emerald, their top 4 or 5 floors were all blocked off, not available for sale initially when it launched. And I suspect that's because either they reserve them, but I also think maybe they might not be allowed to build them. So there's a lawsuit going on, and Nairobi County has to update their zoning. So there's a lot of flux with some of the developments. Can foreigners not resident or living in Kenya buy apartments? Yes, you can. He said if you slip them a bill, they'll give your apartment out for a night. Why would you give them access to it? These desolate build-outs are why I'm not bothered by service maintenance fees. Is that trashing Nairobi or trashing bad maintenance? Yep, had to return their money and developers were pissed.
people find interesting, which is not very common.
I
in
think
the
it's a
West,
positive thing if they come up with a good
this
planning.
is like an outdoors kitchen for the help.
All right.
Own.
Where's the
Room
trash
very
Nairobi
spacious.
at?
Here again, you have a place. So a lot of. So here are some examples of some pamphlets. I went to see a few developers, and look, it all looks beautiful. It all looks nice. This is this would be about $1,300 per square meter. Look, beautiful.
Okay.
But this one
Escada.
here,
That's a good one.
location.
Escada's nice.
Another one.
That's complete now.
Look, just the typical propaganda. But
You got, see,
and this one here.
that's like, okay, so that's a really good point. You're buying the developer off plan. So this is why I wouldn't buy one if I can't see their track record, because you're buying the track record based off of what you think they can do. Because that Escada, nice, delivered. Some of this other stuff, maybe not. I feel like if you're not confident enough to sell those units, you shouldn't be confident enough to use that floor height in all. Yeah, I agree. But they're not selling them. I know it's weird because then all your renders and everything are different. It is a problem. This is why this channel exists, right? So, like, if you came there the first time, you would have no clue about any of this stuff. So at least you can be informed about it because no one's going to tell you that. And no one told me that other than I know what's going on with the city. And by their behavior is what made me think that maybe it's not approved for that height. Now, if you use FKC Legal in the due diligence, they will discover that while you're negotiating. Yeah, Scada has great Airbnb rates for renters. And, you know, I was talking with Kai, and we were having a conversation about, you know, having a restaurant open to the public. Does that hurt the value of your property or increase it? Escada has rooftop 270, which is dope. That's one of my favorite places to go. If I can't think of somewhere to go, I'm going there. It's always a good time. They got great service. It's a vibe. Good, classy clientele up there, but it's on top of and it's a public access. Many of the developers think that's a bad idea. I kind of think it's a good idea because if you're in Westlands, you're in Westlands for a reason. You want it, like MH said, you're in there to be in the mix. And how much better is it to have a really amazing restaurant on the roof of your building? I think it's good. I like it. But it's not for everybody. I think it helps the rent. So people have been asking me where they should stay, and I've been recommending Escada. I don't stay there because I don't like paying a premium. I stay in Kilimani when I was doing Airbnbs and personally coming because I'd rather spend the money out and about than in my room. But also Kilimani doesn't bother me, but many people will find, I don't know why, Westlands is just easier. People feel safer or whatever, but that's kind of my perspective. What do you guys think about that though? Like, is it a turnoff to have a public access restaurant in your apartment? The rooftop was fire. Pandora got stuck with the 22 floor massive models. Yes, you can. Sky Nest restaurant is a nice middle ground. It doesn't crowd my rooftop with randoms, but still incentivizes solid food. Yeah, Sky Nest is cool because what's that fancy place they got on the first floor? I can't think of the name. I think it could be a good thing. It's the rooftop that has it booked out, in my opinion. The amenities matter. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because if it's a private only, like only the residents, it's not going to be that good. Many have bought. That's why I like Skynest too. Skynest is good. Skynest shows its age, but like the way the lobby is like a hotel, it's very relatable for people to come and go through there, and their like service is a little bit better and they have more security, right? I hate though when I got to fight with randoms to get to my pool or whatever. Yeah, because the pool is on the other side of the restaurant, so that you want to be chilling. Now you're seeing random people. I see both sides. I don't know. All right, what else are we talking about? It's funny to see that
It's about $700 a square meter in Parkland's rooftop pool. So, I mean, objectively, you're paying $700 a square meter for It's also very hard to choose the development. I'll just give you an example.
You see how he's pricing everything by square meter, but we don't even know what the square meters are. So how do you know what the actual price is per square meter? Oh, slate. Yeah. Thank you.
I like this right
That's
here.
right. Most of these resident only cafes, bars are dead. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My building has one. It like the coffee shop thing is cool, but it's not. The restaurant is like, first of all, they can't make money. They're not that competitive. So I think making them public makes them a lot better. I live most of the year in Japan, but sushi at Slate with jalapenos hits. Oh, I didn't know. I never ate at Slate.
I like this right here.
Just bored workers staring at you. Yeah. And there's, for some reason, it's still slow.
I saw two buildings next to each other. One was complete. Apartments were going for about $1,300 a square meter, mostly 3 bedrooms, and are often very poorly managed, which
That's a big deal. You guys, when you buy one of these units, you become part of the HOA. You have like a voting share in the management. So it's important that you have good management to maintain the property, for sure. Because like the management on my Lavington property is pretty crappy. I'm trying to fire them right now, actually. But we got to get all our sectional title deeds and then form a new management company or hire a new one because the original developer is still there and they suck. It's horrible. So that is something to think about. And that goes back to look at their past developments, because if you see neglect already and it's only been a year or two, that's what your property is going to look like later. Get Bupa insurance. I guess that's answering the insurance question from a bit ago. Geez. Real estate. Taxes. Let's see what he says about taxes.
But something that you can't manage really is the tax issue. So taxes in Kenya on rental income for non-residents is a flat 30% withholding tax. So it means you can't deduct any of the property management fees, property taxes, etc. It's a straight up 30%.
That's not to my understanding. I thought it was 10. I could be wrong. They have dress code for Kenyans only. That's messed up. I don't like that. I picked up a unit with Hefe, and if it doesn't work out, I'm blaming. Wait a minute. I gave a disclaimer about that. I gave a disclaimer. I have not vetted that developer. I vetted the diplomat, not Hefe. That's a horrible name, by the way. Why do you do that? Who came up with that? I love the location, though.
Withholding tax on gross rental income, and that honestly is a complete deal.
My worst nightmare is to lead someone astray. He was very anti-ATM. What? ATM?
Breaker. This makes investing in Kenyan property really not worth it. It's objectively uninvestable. There are some double tax treaties depending on where you live. If there's a double tax treaty between Kenya and your country of tax residency, in some cases this amount can be reduced, but then again it's a withholding tax on gross rental income, which is a lot higher than on net rental income after all the deductions. Overall, I find that property is good value for money. It's great if you want to live here. And actually Kenya, very few people know this, but Kenya is a very interesting tax base in the sense that it does not tax non-Kenyan source investment income. So if you live in Kenya, if you're a tax resident in Kenya and you have investment income from overseas, you do not have to pay a single cent to the Kenyan tax authorities. Though it's good value, one, the rental income, the tax situation makes it uninvestable, and two, I don't see any catalysts for a re-rating of property prices here in Nairobi. They are building a lot, And they're building also because there's a lot of money laundering from Somalia and South Sudan that ends up in construction here in Kenya. So a lot of that Western aid that going to Somalians.
All right, cool. I think that's good for today.